and hello. Welcome to the A Woman's Soul Restored podcast. This is season 5, episode 15. We are moving right along, 5 years in, truly amazing. Have met some awesome people along the way. And today is we're not falling short. I have a gentleman with me today, and I'm honored to say this is the first male we have had on the A Woman Soul Restored podcast.
Well,
But he has information that affects both male and female. And our goal here is to help the total person, whether you're male or female. It just happens to be that most of the guests are here for our female viewers, but we have 34% male viewers as well. So this is for everybody today. It encompasses all of us that may fall into what our guest is going to discuss today. His name is William Person. He is a 9-year bobsled athlete for Team USA. So hooray for that. But we're not going to talk about that too much today because that led him into another journey. And what we're going to discuss is part of his years with Team USA, but then we want to get into the root of what brought him on a new journey and what he advocates for today. So I'm not going to delay any longer. So welcome, Mr. Person, to the Woman Soul Restored podcast. We are so happy to have you today.
well, thank you. I appreciate you having me. And me being the first male guest, like that's like, ooh,
In
I
5 years, first male guest, yes.
I can appreciate that. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes, and
But
not that we haven't had men to try to come on, but the information that they had was not relevant. So I'm not going to bring anybody on just to say we got a male guest. It has
yeah,
to be
yeah.
something that's going to be relevant and help the people that's listening. And I truly feel that what you have, even for myself, because I'm going through something from a fall at work,
Ah,
I hit the back of my head. So I'm having
oh,
some
yeah,
real bad issues right now and can't discuss it too much because I got a lawyer and stuff involved. But
yeah.
hence to say I was looking forward to this interview today, this conversation, to find out what it is that, and I don't want to get too far into it. So you take over because I'll just start talking. So,
Yeah.
because it's something that perks me as well. So whenever you're ready.
Well, actually, you gave me goosebumps because actually on this journey, I found out there's so many women out here who deal with this issue way more than men,
Mm,
and it's not being talked about because you guys aren't technically in the those categories where you compromise. For example,
right,
you're not playing the NFL, right?
right,
Most
right.
people, the condition I have is CTE. And people say, well, how do you know you have CTE if you can only diagnose it at death?
Mm,
Well, I was on Team USA for 9 years, and my teammates around me started to get sick and stuff with like Parkinson's, dementia,
right, right.
stuff like that. And then the suicides came. And
Mm,
the last guy who called me, like people know me, like when I was in my early 20s, I did this movie called Jerry Maguire. I'm not sure if you know that movie now. Well, I was the guy they hired to. I played 5 different characters. I put these uniforms on me. I was a sprinter and a long jumper,
okay.
and so you see me running up and down the field, make Cuba look like a real athlete. That's what I was doing. Just
Okay.
having other athletes around. I wasn't a stunt double or anything, but I was just there to make it look good, make it look real.
Right, right.
You know, And so most people think that this condition is only getting our athletes, and it's not. It's the housewife who's been domestic violence against her.
Yes.
Now they're checking her brain but
Right.
it's only at the autopsies though. So they're
Mm,
now checking the housewives, and now they're coming up with CTE.
mm.
And like I want you guys to fact check me. Don't just listen to what I say and say, "Oh, this guy's just saying this stuff." It's all real. Like fact check
Right,
me,
right, right,
please fact
right.
check me. The biggest issue I have with it, and like I learned about this so much later, and by accident, it's our military guys. They're coming back. They're diagnosed PTSD.
Right.
Everybody know what that is. And then you see our soldiers like living on the side of the roads. They're struggling. They're on drugs, self-medicating.
Yes.
But the truth is now they're checking their brains, and they're finding the same thing that's killing the NFL players. It's killing my bobsled teammates. It's anybody dealing with the head issues.
Right.
And
Right.
nobody's connecting the dots. And I'm over here waving the flag. Hey guys, hey, wait a minute, wake up, wake up. It's the same symptoms.
Yes.
We all got it from head injuries. It's the same treatment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was in dementia for I don't know how long. I was cloudy, right?
Right.
And I didn't know it was this from sports. I thought I was becoming diabetic because it looked like people with low blood sugar. You you don't have
Right. Right.
energy, you're not getting out of that bed. You just then when you start living like that, then you start to get a little bit depressed about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't
Yeah.
even know I was depressed. I had no idea until one of my teammates, like, he called me this one day, and he was speaking gibberish, and I just kept trying to get him to talk. Like, what? And he got so frustrated, he hung up the phone. Now, I used to own a youth treatment facility for kids. And before that, I worked in youth corrections and youth treatment, So that was my passion. That's my passion stuff.
Right. Right.
So I know my friend needed help, right? And I didn't do anything to help him. Nothing. Like, other than talk about it to myself every day. And I got the word back that he had went to his family's factory and he hung himself. And I felt like I felt responsible, I felt guilty. I felt ashamed because I didn't do anything. Because mental health is my background. Like, why didn't I do something? Why didn't you do anything? And let me fast forward a little bit. I was doing so bad. Like I said, I was in dementia since my late 30s, probably late 30s.
Okay.
And so, I'm just struggling. Like, I'm struggling. And like, it's kind of hard to really know where to take this story, because it's like, when you're in that mind state, you don't really know what you're dealing with. You don't know that I thought it was diabetes. Like I said, I'm still thinking it's diabetes. Has to be diabetes.
Yeah.
So, anyway, once I get the word that he took his life, and I bought this little lake house in the Midwest. I'm gonna go there. This is my death house. I'm going to die. I know I'm dying. Every night, I'm praying for death every day. Like, I could commit suicide because I know what that trauma does to families.
Yes.
And so I couldn't do it. So I'm making deals with God every night. Like, you can come get me and it won't be so bad on the family. Just, what you waiting on? Like, why are you making me suffer through this stuff? My teammates gone. I'm gone. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what month we in. Every day I got to figure it out. Every day. Same routine. Like that movie Groundhog's Day. I was just, it was just brutal, And so, man, I one day I get this story that Joe Namath, I'm not sure if you know who he is. He used hyperbaric oxygen. He put a statement out. He used it to reverse his CTE symptoms. Right. And that's kind of where my journey started at. But at the one point, let me back up just a little bit, because I'm jumping around a little bit on you. And that's actually part of my condition. I'm a little bit, today's one of my bad days, the last couple of days. I haven't been in that chamber because I use it so much. I try to take a break sometime.
Right. Okay.
So I don't But so, okay, let me back up just a little bit. Let me back a little bit. Okay, so what was that? So this is one of my rough days here.
You're okay.
And I didn't want to counsel you today. I didn't want to counsel.
No.
Okay, I knew it was coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me say, we're real laid back here.
Yeah.
I'm a laid back type person. I don't put pressure on anybody. I just want you to feel comfortable. And I want you to know your story. So no pressure to try to be on point and try to be in order. Wherever your thoughts lead you, we'll get it. So
I got you.
Yeah. You good.
This is my last little glitch. If I can get past this little glitch, it's not here all the time, but it's around enough where it's annoying, but it's not that big a deal anymore. So, okay, I know where I was at. Okay, so I bought this little lake house in the Midwest. I'm in dementia. I know I'm in trouble. So when I get over there, I buy this house. I'm going there to die. I already know. And when I got there, this article came out, written by the New York Times, called Sledhead. It's still out there. You guys can find it if you want to see it. In the article, it actually outlined all the stuff a lot of my teammates were going through before they ended their life. It talked about some of the suicides. It didn't mention all of them. It talked
Right.
about some of the Parkinson's, the dementias, depression and stuff like that. And see, I didn't even know this was going on with my teammates.
Right.
I knew about a suicide or two, but I didn't know about all of them.
Okay.
And so I literally read this article. And even though I'm looking for medical help for myself because I'm thinking I got diabetes and the doctor's telling me I'm wrong, I didn't know it was a connection there.
Right.
So
Right.
when I read this article, I literally get on my knees and I thank God all the symptoms miss me.
Mm.
And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So y'all gotta stay with me, ladies. Don't get mad at me. My girlfriend is from New York, right?
Okay.
And she's got a really close niche family of women. They're on the phone all day long. And I was like, I think they were born with megaphones in their throat because they just so loud, man. They were just killing me. And so we had just started dating a little bit before I bought the lake house in the Midwest. And so I would come back and forth to see her, or she'll come and see me. And this one time during COVID, I'm thinking like, I said, you guys are so loud, it's killing me. I can't take this noise. I'm going back to the lake house to give me some peace and quiet. I can't cope with this anymore. It's just,
Wow.
who am I to tell you to be quiet in your own house? I'm not that guy. So I go to the lake house, and that's when that article shows up from the New York Times.
Right.
And that's when I get on my knees and thank God they missed me. So when I sent the article to my girlfriend, she circled some stuff and she sent it back. And the first thing I saw was noise sensitivity. And I went, what? It was the very reason I was over there in the first place. And then when I went down that list again, I checked every box except Parkinson's. And I went, oh my God. And at that time is when my teammate's autopsy report came out. He was in stage 4 of CTE. And it was the one thing about that is like, it took that pressure off me. It took that guilt away because I knew I couldn't have helped him when I wanted to.
Right.
Because he was already too far gone. That's why he couldn't even speak English anymore. That was one thing. But at that point is when I realized, like, I was in trouble. Like, I couldn't help him because I needed help.
Yeah.
At that point at my place, before I got the house, I had taken the bed out of my bedroom and I threw the mattress part of it into my living room on the floor. So I was literally living on my own floor, like next to the kitchen, and I was like in between the kitchen, the bathroom, and the front door, right in that little middle area.
Yeah.
Because like I was struggling. I didn't know how bad of trouble I was in. Even though I was praying for death and wanted to go, like I couldn't connect them dots. So if you look at what I'm telling you, and you look at the rest of these NFL players who've been killing themselves lately or murdering other people, they don't see this illness on themselves. They can't see it, and that's why it's out of control right now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something that's even a step further. Like I didn't know this then, but when I was racing, we used to do these what we call VIP rides. We take different celebrities down the bobsled track or different important people.
Right.
And so when we're doing bobsleds, we're pulling what they call 5G forces, which mean the pressure on the brain is 5 times your body weight. And so we thought we're doing 5. The fighter pilots, I thought they were doing 20 or something like that, 20 G forces, but they're only doing 6, which I didn't know at the time. So they're the only ones that experience the same G forces as us, right? So we took them down that track. And on that one day, this is why it stands out so strong to me. On that one day, I did 6 bobsled rides that day. They did 1, and they were rattled. Now, these are the best fighter pilots in the world. How could they be rattled on a bobsled ride? Well, that article that was written by the New York Times had somebody test one of the mildest tracks in the world, which is in Canada. And we found out there were spikes of 84.5 G forces. And so that is why everybody who races that sport brain begins to play tricks on them, begins to go to mush, and that's when I started screaming, hey, wait a minute, like no more deaths here. We've got to stop this.
Yeah.
We got to warn our youth. This is, and that's the journey that I've been on since I figured it out. And once I actually started using the chamber and it started helping me because, because before that I was struggling just like my buddy. I was struggling with just being able to talk and find words. And then I'll get to the point where I'm switching words because I know I can't spell this one no more, or I can't even say it. I can see that word, but I can't say it, And so I'm thinking like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. I'm really in trouble. And yeah, and that's kind of what brings me here today. But it now gets worse. Now, what I said so far is probably pretty crazy. People are like, okay, I can kind of probably see that. But now I'm going to bring it home for us. If you look at don't take my word for this. Go back and look at the last 5 years of mass shootings in America. A lot of them are connected to this head condition. A lot of them. And since 2012, there's a study that's out there. It says 31% of the mass shootings in America are done by our veterans. And so these are American heroes. They're coming back and they're turning the gun on us.
Yeah.
And it's because their brain is, it switches off on you. And I've talked to a lot of people dealing with it. And your brain tells you two things: either kill yourself or kill other people, right? And that's what it tells you. And it's on a loop. It's like it's just repetitive. It's just going. It's like you. I don't even know what to compare it to, but it's almost like you're in the back of your mind all the time. Like, why are you still living like this? You don't have to be here like this. You don't. You can check yourself out. Your teammates are already killing themselves. Now it's your turn. Why are you still here? Who are you saving like this? Well, are you the hero? And so you start to get these things that go through your mind. And it's like, now this is where it gets even crazier. If you look at the numbers of our veterans who are committing suicide, it's around 6,400 veterans per year. And, yeah, every year. But what they don't tell you, and I just learned this with myself, and it's so disturbing. It's just like in my community, CTE, it can kill you, but usually it's the self-medicating part, the things you do that make you feel better, that calm the nerves and the symptoms. So the military does not count suicide the same as we do. Like if you overdose, it doesn't count as a suicide. Even if you leave a suicide note, they don't count it.
Okay.
So there's an additional 5,000 veterans every year who die that way. So if you put the numbers together, that's 11,000 veterans every year are dying to this thing. And we know now, it used to be called PTSD, but when they do the autopsy, they're finding exactly what they should find, which is a CTE. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute, guys, I'm looking at this thing. I know what it is because I had to live it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that it kicked in, that if you had committed suicide, what it did to your family. And even though you were praying for death, God had another path for you. So death did not come your way. This is an interesting journey that you talked to us about. And actually, I hadn't heard about CTE until I got your information.
Wow.
And I started doing some research myself. Very interesting. Not anything that pops out on the screen about what you're talking about, because like you said, it's not really talked about. But it needs to be talked about. So I commend you for turning what you went through, and you didn't just settle for, okay, I'm better, so I can stop here. You went the next step. And this is what I love about people that takes their personal journey and turns it into advocacy, turns it into helping others, and not just stopping at, okay, I feel better, I can go on with life, because you could have stopped there. But something was in you that you knew you needed to do more. You knew you needed to bring attention to this because there was no attention. So I commend you for that, for taking that step and knowing that I need to be that voice. I need to be that person, because this is not something I just picked up out the air and said, yeah, I'm going to advocate for this. Your life journey brought you here and beyond. So thank you for what you're doing and the light that you're spotlighting on this and the attention that you're bringing to it. Because like I said, I had never heard of it. Like you said, everybody knows what PTSD is, because and even with that, it took them a long time to diagnose that. It took them forever to say, okay, this is PTSD that our soldiers are coming back with. And then to realize that it wasn't just subjected to soldiers. It was normal people having PTSD. Domestic violence victims, rape victims. You go through that trauma and you don't know how to come back from it. And your mind starts playing tricks on you. So here we go again with something else, CTE, that we don't hear about, that is not in the mainstream media. We don't hear about it in the you have to dig to find out information about this. So I was
Yeah.
excited when I was reading your information, and I was like, yeah, male or not, I gotta have him. He gotta be on here because this is affecting us and we don't know what it is. Never heard of it. So my prayer is that this gets out. And if you feel that you have these symptoms that William is discussing, um, that you do some digging, like you said, fact check. Check for yourself. See the information. I did my information. I did my fact checking, and it's there. You just have to really research it to find it, but it's there. Don't end up being a statistic. Advocate for yourself. We had the information here from you today from somebody that lived through it. And like I said, I thank you so much for coming to share with our audience, which is male and female, about this. On your way when you were coming back, when you went through the chamber and the fog was diminishing, did you feel like you were getting a part of your life back?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Boy.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this way. When I heard Joe Namath talk about it, he used it to reverse his symptoms. I didn't think it was going to work. Like I've been seeing doctors, I've been asking questions, I've been doing the reading, all the research you probably did, I did. There was nothing really out there. But Joe Namath said he used it and it worked, but he didn't tell us how it worked or what his symptoms were.
Right.
So I went to try it, and this is the crazy part. I'm in the chamber for 1 hour. And when I came out, like my glass was slightly tinted because I'm sensitive to lights, sounds, and smells.
Yeah.
And so I went to grab my glasses because everything was the colors were vivid. It's almost like I was walking around in a cartoon and all the color, everything was in 3D. And I put my glasses on and I didn't need my glasses. I was like, this is weird. And I put them on a few times. And the salesman comes over to me. He's like, what's wrong? I said, I don't know. I don't think I need my glasses right now. And he's like, oh, you one of those? And I'm like right here. I'm folding my arms. Okay, here come the sales pitch. He's finna try to get me, And remember, I had just bought this house in Midwest to go perish. I went there to die. I mean, I wasn't going to get lost there. All I could do at the lake house is go in the backyard and go fishing or cut the grass. That's all I can do over there.
Right.
That's the reason why I bought it, But he was right, though. Some people get immediate relief, and then some people need about 30 days of treatment, 2 treatments a day for 30 days to get the same results I did. So for me, I got in this chamber, and I had 10 years of cloudiness gone. And it lasted for 6 days, and then I went back the end of the next week, and then it lasted 9 days. So then I had to have one. And so but the one thing about it is, if you do the research even on these things, the only thing I found was Michael Jackson had one. That's all I knew about him.
Yeah.
And I was I don't want to be the weird guy with a hyperbaric chamber. Like, I'm going to be that guy. It's already bad enough. I'm the one black guy on the bobsled team, and that's how most people around the world know me. People of color, they know me because I was the black guy on the bobsled team.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, man, here we go again. Here we go again. And if you actually look at this, I'm going to see if I can turn my camera a little bit. It almost looks like a bobsled. So when I first got there and I saw it, I was like, hold up. Oh, that's how I got here in the first place. I don't know if I want to get in that thing. I don't want to, but it was the best thing I ever did in my life. Matter of fact, I'm officially not-for-profit now, and I'm opening up the first ever CTE Wellness Center in St. Louis. Is what my goal is. Yeah, and I'm doing something that's a little bit different, and people fight me on it, and I'm just not listening to them. Everybody, these investors are coming around. They want to spend money with me. But if I spend money, I'm going to have to charge the people. People can't afford this. Like I told you, this one here, like, put it this way. When I used that chamber the first time, it cleared me. I was feeling much better. I use it the second time, I'm clear again. So I now know this is kind of like, if I was diabetic, this will be my insulin. But for me to get that insulin now, it was going to cost me $20,000 to get that machine back there. And I ain't have it. I just bought the house, And my dad wound up stepping up and getting it for me later because actually, I kept he wanted to buy it, and I'm telling him, no, I'm not taking your money. No, you're about to retire. I'm not accepting no money from you. put that away, And I said, I'll move some money around. Eventually I'll get it. And the thing about this condition is it's so unforgiving and it's progressive and it's slow. And when the symptoms get you, they got you. And so like when it first started, I had the random days of cloudy, and it slowly changed to random days with clarity.
Yeah.
And so when I found out it was working and I needed it, I didn't have the money sitting there to get it right then. There was no financing programs or anything like that.
Right.
I really laid back down ready to die again. I was fading all the way back out, to the family swept up and,
Yes. 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 Thank God for family. Yeah.
heaviness.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have even made it, give me a second.
Oh, you good.
Woo.
You good. Yeah. 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 I totally understand when you think about where you've been and what you've been brought to, and what could have happened. Yeah, that's an emotional. Yeah, that's one of those moments where you need a minute because you could not have been here. You could have been gone. We wouldn't have heard your voice. We would have remembered you, but not in the terms of what you're advocating for. We would have remembered you from, being the bobsledder, being the only black bobsledder. But now we have you here to make new memories and to enlighten us on the information that you have. And what a wonderful person and spirit that you have to, some people would try to hide that emotion, like, and still try to press and keep going. But I'm glad that you're cognizant enough to know that I need a moment, which is fine because in life we all need moments, and it doesn't matter if you're in the spotlight, if you're on camera, if you're by yourself, if you're in a room full of people. Sometimes we need moments. And I just applaud you and just commend your courage and your strength and knowing that you want to keep what you're doing something that people would not have to pay for. So could you give us more information about that?
Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm just really taking that bill away from the American people just because I know they can't afford it. Like for me, like now that I have my machine, all it takes for me is to flip that switch and it's on.
Mm-hmm.
It don't cost me no extra money to maintain it. I don't have to go put gas in it, put oil in it, get it tuned up. And so I'm doing a fundraiser right now. Actually, we're not for profit, so hopefully the partnerships will show up. The appropriate partnerships will show up.
Yes.
Not the ones who want me to put a return on money and pay them back money.
Right.
I don't. That's not what we need here.
Right.
And so my goal is to fundraiser, get the machines. I'm either going to use the lake house to get started in. But my dad was a roofer for a long time, and he retired a few years ago. He's about to sell his building. It's huge. It's in St. Louis. It's next to all the big hospitals and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, Dad. Don't sell just yet. Let me see what So I'm trying to raise money so I could clean it up. It was a roofing company. Got a lot of cleanup I got to do in there.
Right. Right.
I just need money, raising money for the build out, getting the equipment, and then we will be open to the American public because this is something that everybody needs. And we're probably going to start with a lot of the veterans and stuff because they're the ones that's taking our lives.
Yes.
And so we've got to start with them. But I'm opening to the public. Now we're gonna see the high school kids in there who had concussions from football. You're gonna see the housewife who's fallen and hurt herself. Who had just domestic violence done to her. We're gonna help everybody. This is not I'm just treating this population or that population. It's just something that has to be done because and like when in 2003, I went to St. Louis to accept I forgot if I got a proclamation or resolution. All the politicians get together, give you an award, right? It's like the Will Person Day. So they did that for me. And on that day, it was being broadcasted through this, I don't know if it was internet. I don't know what it was all the politicians in St. Louis, but I announced my retirement. But because I used to work in mental health, I always went into the schools and spoke to the kids and
Yeah.
uplifted and inspired and I announced my retirement that day. But they was like, no, you can't. And I saw all these
Mm.
older people, older Black people who would tell me, hey, wait a minute. I didn't know we can do that sport. I didn't know we can do this. Wait a minute, you on a world championship? Like, yeah,
Wow.
And I stopped the retirement and I stayed around for our people because I dealt with a lot of racism up there. Like, the things I make complaints about back in 2000, 2002, 3, all the way to 2007, they finally got in trouble for it in 2022, believe it or not. It took them 20 years to get in trouble. They were audited by an outside agency. And I have that paperwork too. And then I got to tell you guys here today, there's paperwork trail behind me.
Right.
And so, and so they finally got in trouble for, matter of fact, in the paperwork, it actually mentions an audit, the good old boy system. And when I started that sport, they told me, when I first came to Lake Placid, the Olympic Training Center, this guy told me, he said, hey, Will, just want you to know, man, it's the good old boy system up here, but it's getting better. I didn't believe him. I did not believe him because I had already been traveling to Europe and traveling with the European teams.
Right.
And
Right.
I was like, wait a minute, you mean there's racism in my own country, but not over here in Europe? Like, that's not real. But he was right. And that paperwork is out there, just so you know. It's I have it, it's out there. And so, yeah, I stuck around because I didn't want people of color who came behind me to have to deal with that,
Yeah.
and the longer I stayed, the more damage I did to myself, which I didn't know at the time, And so if I had just left when I announced my retirement, I probably wouldn't be sitting here or having to get in that machine now, It's like,
Wow.
so there's a lot of like, oh my God, like epiphanies, man, epiphanies.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Did we mention much about the mental health stuff? We probably didn't
Not
deal with.
not a lot. Not a lot.
Okay, when I first left college, I worked. My first job was at a place called San Joaquin County Mental Health. It's the first mental health facility that was west of the Mississippi River, and so everybody flocked there for help. Anybody who was in that vicinity came there for help, and so I learned watching like people with depression, all the different bipolar, schizophrenias.
Yeah.
We had the criminally insane coming through there for court days sometime, and the weirdest population that I ever saw is lobotomy people were still alive back then, and man, just to watch those guys. So my background was really mental health, and then when I joined Team USA, I had already opened the first ever independent living transitional housing program in the state of Utah. And so it was such a new program that they opened me as a pilot program.
Okay.
And so my background is just doing what I'm doing now, mentoring and helping. And the crazy part is, like, I didn't realize it when I was a kid. I was a kid. Opened that facility, I was 27 or 28 years old. And so the kids that lived in my program, it was inpatient in the community. They lived in my program. They were about 10 years or less younger than me. I was like their father, but I was maybe 10 years older than these guys. Like, it's just like back then I didn't understand the how crazy that sounds.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking back, like, wow, I did what? I was doing what? Like, and but I've always been that person of service and giving back. And this just really just makes sense to do it this way.
Amazing. Amazing. The more I listen to you, the more I understand why you do what you do. You have to have something in you that gears you, like a bicycle, and it needs that chain,
I'm
like,
my
to
mom.
propel. Yeah, I
I'm
gotta
my
do this. I
mom.
gotta keep going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that is so
Yeah.
amazing to see. I like to hear the backstory of how somebody got from A to B, and then they travel to C and D, and then they keep going. And on your journey, you're keeping going, which is amazing. The help that's going to be, and I'm going to have all your links included when this is broadcast, so that people can really see what you're doing, and that they can donate. And down the years, I hope not, but you might be seeing me, because a lot of those symptoms you're describing is what I'm going through now with I'm tolerating the light in here.
Yeah.
It's been a journey. I fell in March, and when I hit my head went forward. I got to have surgery on this shoulder. I got to get a neck injection. So I got some stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I've had some up days, and today was not a good day for me either. So I'm glad that both of us made the decision to go forward and do this, because there's people that need to hear what you have to say, what you're saying. And I want people to see that you can live through and still do the things that you need to do, even when you're going through something. We both pressed today, even though we weren't having good days. I broke my phone today. I don't have a phone, and I basically, my life is my little phone.
Yeah.
And I cracked the screen and I can't even access the code to get in there. So I got frustrated about that, and I had a headache all day and really just laying around trying to get myself going. But I knew I needed to. When you know you gotta still press and go forward, you press and go forward. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be easy sometimes, and it's not been an easy day. But I'm glad I did, because I got to meet an awesome gentleman,
Yeah, me
and
too.
I
Me
hope to
too.
stay in touch with you and keep progress on what you're doing, and to bring you back, because actually one of my co-hosts, her field is mental health.
Okay.
So I would like her to have a conversation with you as well, so y'all can go a little deeper, because that's not my space. I know a little, but I don't know a lot. So I really want, at some point, maybe next year sometime, to really get you and her together, so y'all can
What
do
state
that.
are you in?
Georgia,
In Georgia.
in
Okay.
Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, I got a lot of teammates down there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But just I have just really enjoyed you and the information you've shared. And before you go, is there any last things you would like to say, or anything you would like to relay?
Yeah, I've said a lot of weird things that don't sound real. And the truth is, if you've seen that movie Concussion with
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith, my life has now turned into that. Like I won't say I'm getting the death threats, but I'm getting the warnings. Put it that way. And
Mm-hmm.
so people don't want this information out, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, they left me to die. So you're not going to shut me up now. And so if you
Right.
kill me, you're just doing what I was asking God to do in the first place. That's how I look at it. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, I'm gonna keep this journey going. And like I said, we are now for profit. And I chose St. Louis because um, when my day come for me to leave this place, let's say they do come and harm me or something, that that foundation's up and running. That
Yeah.
building will be owned.
Yes.
I'm donated into the foundation myself, and so it'll be here for everybody for eternity. So when my day come for me to leave, people can still go there and get help. But my
Mm-hmm.
life, to be honest, like we all know, whistleblowers don't live
Yeah.
long in America, and this is a global issue for the Winter Olympic athletes. We're
Mm-hmm.
dying all around the world, and they're doing
Yes.
everything they can to hurt. Matter of fact, my last 3 days in court, my last three court hearings, my law team is now standing with the defense team. They're fighting against me. They gave us an offer. I only asked for two things: um, give us medical, make sure you take care of us, and help the guys who need help. Number one, and number two, warn the new generation before they start the sport. They tricked us all. They didn't warn us. They knew the stuff was happening, and so I'm
Mm.
forcing them to warn the babies now. Like I don't
Yes.
want nobody's babies going through what I'm going through. It's a horrible life. It'll make you hate life. It'll make you hate people. The thought of breathing another day of air is not something like most of us want to do. And there's no treatment for this thing. The only treatment is this. And if I even say the word treatment, they'll why they want to shut me down. The only
Mm-hmm.
therapy for this thing is this chamber right here. And there's thousands and thousands of people around the country and the world that's using this thing. Don't let them fool you guys. Do your homework. It's out there. The studies are out there. This has been around since the 1800s, which I
Mm.
didn't know. And there's another way to do this. If you can't afford to get into a machine, if you're a deep sea diver, this actually simulates deep sea diving. Oh man,
Wow.
how much time do you have? I want to throw you another couple of
No, you
breadcrumbs.
good. You good. Go ahead.
Okay, one thing they don't tell us in the brown community is like if you have a stroke, like a massive stroke, and you in a wheelchair, if you go through the therapy, more than likely you'll be up walking again. This will reverse it because what it does, it makes your body think it's 9 feet underwater or more, and then your blood's like a gas. That gas, since the blood's like a gas, it can get through all the blockages. That's why I was in the chamber for 1 hour, and it woke me up. Like, whoa, it's what it does. Yeah. So they don't tell people in the brown communities about this. Matter of fact, I used to do some stuff with Jamie Foxx. So when they said the media said he had a stroke a couple of years ago, I mean, he called in the camp. I said, hey guys, I said, number one, please don't tell me if he had a stroke. I don't want to know. I don't want to be responsible for the outbreak because there's always drama around that, but it's a whole nother subject. But I said, don't tell me if that's it. But I said, but if that's what it is, I said, check with the hyperbaric chambers. It'll reverse all that stuff. Now, I'm not sure if he used it or not. I'm not even sure if he really had a stroke or not. Whatever he had. But the science behind this thing is that. Matter of fact, if you even do more research, matter of fact, there was a guy just on ESPN, the coach at the University of Houston. He had melanoma skin cancer. They gave him 4 to 6 weeks to live. He was doing everything the doctors asked him to do. I think they were doing chemo, wasn't working. He said he tried alternative stuff. They showed him climbing into a hyperbaric chamber. Now his numbers are normal. And that story happens all the time.
Wow.
They say cancer can't live in an oxygenated environment. And so, I'm not a real conspiracy guy, but you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. They cannot, like for me, I have this machine, right?
Right.
I can treat as many people as I want to treat that machine. I've been here more than 450 hours myself.
Okay.
Once I bought it, you can't charge me again for it. This is my medicine is right here. If I'm not feeling right, guess what? I'm popping back in there. And that's just what it is. And so since they can't charge us like that, they don't want this in people's homes. But I live in LA. These are in the rich people's homes. They have them. Everybody has them in the rich communities. They know what these are. In the brown and poor communities, we don't, because they don't talk about it. Except Michael Jackson, except Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. Yeah.
Wow.
But no, that's what I'm doing. Like we're opening up. We're gonna be in St. Louis. I got a crowdfunding out there. Let me see. It's One Man with a Chamber. Is what my thing is called. But you guys can find me. I'm William Person. Everybody's a person. Person.
Yes.
And one thing that we mentioned earlier, like it's like this. The bad thing about this thing, the athletes and the soldiers can't see it on themselves. This is a loved one. Only the loved ones are going to save them. It was my loved ones who saved me. And all of my teammates who I shared the story with, they kept telling me like, oh, no, I'm fine. And then when I heard from their loved ones, they was like, no, they are not fine. And so because we can't see it we can see it in other people. Like we'll be looking at like these other NFL players like, oh, man, they messed up. We're like, ooh, I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. We know they're in trouble. Yeah. But we can't see it in ourselves. So I have a TikTok channel, and I just help people. I really don't look for the people struggling with it because they won't understand. I look for the loved ones because the loved ones can help you and put those and help remove those potholes that I stepped in all the potholes. During COVID, I bought 4 cars. 4 cars during COVID. Like for some, your mind is just not.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could really explain to you why I was doing this. Not I can't tell you. It didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense now. But it's brutal. It's very unforgiving. And when you see your loved one, this is the key right here. When they're not acting like themselves, then that's when you got to step in. You have to figure out what it is. And if they were around places where either the military or athletes that hit their head, or I'm going to give you another one here. Because I worked in mental health, I always said Kanye West was not he's not bipolar. I was like, he's not. I know what bipolar is. I watched him through the media. Matter of fact, I live probably about 2 miles away from that guy. He is not bipolar. I said he might be schizophrenic, but he is not bipolar. I could see some schizophrenia maybe, but not. And so he had this documentary that came out a couple months ago, and I went to see it. And watching him, he's acting like people. He's so erratic. He's acting like the athletes with the concussions. I'm thinking, wow, he was no athlete though. And then he said the magic thing to me. They gave him some pills, and the pills made him feel worse, and he don't want to take those pills anymore. I remember when I tried to take the pills they gave me, I already made that deal with God for years. Like, I'm not going to kill myself. When them pills kicked in, I was like, F all that. I'm out of here. Like, I got to get out of here.
Wow.
And I had to stop them
Wow.
pills immediately. And we always tell people, no, let the pills build up in your system. It takes time to get used to them.
Right.
That's BS. It tells you right on the box, if you take these things and you're depressed, it might make the symptoms worse. And so that's
Wow.
what they do. They're not for healthy brains. And so I was like, wait a minute. Was Kanye misdiagnosed? Maybe he is not bipolar. And so I did the numbers. He got diagnosed at bipolar at 40. That's just like, that's a no-no. Bipolar, your friend can probably vouch for this. Most of the time between 18 and 19, maybe into your mid-20s, but you're not going to get to your 30s. You could. You could be an outlier. It's a possibility, but you're not going to make it to 40 and get it, because you're going to be doing something so bizarre in the community that somebody going to report you somewhere in schools, in college, or somewhere, or on work. You're going to get that diagnosis before that. And so I was like, well, he's a rapper. How could he get a concussion? Then I remember one of the songs he put out I think it's called Spit Through the Wire or something. He's rapping with JC. He said he had a car accident, right? He said he broke his jaw, and his jaw was in the back of his mouth.
Yeah.
And I was like, aha, concussion. The one thing about concussions, every injury I've ever had as an athlete, and I raced from 11 years old till I was 36. I won my last U.S. National Championships for bobsledding. I turned 37 that summer. A lot of injuries. So, but what we know about injuries is what happens is the swelling comes to that area. And so immediately we put ice on it to stop the swelling. And then we compress it. And then for 72 hours, that's all we do. Ice and compress. After that, then we'll start, heating it and alternating it with ice. And then they do electric stimulation and ultrasound. And then some people get acupuncture. And then at the very end, very, very end, it's about to heal up. You got a knot in there somewhere. It's like usually a knot or scar tissue. So when we live at the Olympic Training Center, I hate even thinking about it. They come out with this white rag or a white towel. We know what that means. The physical therapist is going to give it to me. They're going to tell me to bite it. And they're going to take that elbow like this, and they're going to dig into that soft tissue and break up all the scar tissue. Now think back. When you fell, you hit your head, right? Mm-hmm. What was your treatment?
Initially, nothing. I wasn't diagnosed with a concussion until like 6 weeks later.
Thank you, is the problem. And even if you did get help, you know what they would have told you? Don't go to sleep for the first 3 hours. That is the treatment for concussion. So all that swelling is in your brain. How do you get that swelling out? That machine right there will do it, or you go deep sea diving. That's it. There is no other. And I know that now. And it's the reason why I'm awake now.
Okay.
Yeah. That thing right there removes all the inflammation out of your body. And it sends blood and everything everywhere where it's supposed to be at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you, at some point, you find yourself in one of those things. It'll help you with a lot of them symptoms. Yeah. You get vertigo and migraines?
3 times a week minimum with the vertigo. I wake up with it.
Yeah.
When I wake up, because most of the times I don't sleep at night.
Yeah, that's the first sign.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where, like, eventually you be like, you start talking, and then you won't be able to get the word. You can't find the words you're trying to say. You can't say them anymore. You start losing them, man. It's just, man. Yeah, man, trust me, I've been through all that. I still go through it. With some of the symptoms, it's what it is. But that chamber definitely will reverse a lot of that. Will help you. It'll calm it.
Yeah.
I always say it takes the edge off.
And that's how I feel sometimes, like edgy, like impromptu, and like I can't do what I need to do fast enough, and I'm not getting to where I need to get to fast enough, and then I get impatient with myself and I get frustrated. So like I said, I'm a laid back person, so I mostly talk myself and I pray, ask God to help me through those moments. But it's happening more. And I'm doing a lot more talking to God about just how I feel, and I want to be, and I've even told my lawyer, I just want to get back to me, this person that I am now. I really don't recognize. So, and I've been public about what I'm going through to a degree, because like I said, a lot of stuff I can't talk about yet.
Trust me, I know.
this is a journey that I wouldn't want anybody to go through. So I really was anticipating having a conversation with you today. I'm getting some insight and some stuff I've learned, even talking to you today. So I really appreciate your candidness and your willingness to just get it out. And I would say, regardless of the repercussions. And I knew having you on, didn't know what you were going to say, but I don't want to know what people. That's why I don't send questions and I don't, do pre interviews and all that. Just this conversation, and whatever comes out
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to feel like that. Oh, I can't say that. I'm restricted. No, you're not. This is a free form. And we have a big audience. And through the 5 years, and I'm thankful for the growth.
Yeah.
But we've had some controversial guests on here, but it's their truth. And I want people to tell their truth, because most of the times the stuff that other people don't want to hear are things that's being repressed, something that you gotta shh about. No, we do. It's some things that we just need to say. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that you had the courage and the strength to not only be here, because I've seen most of your interviews you've done. You've been some places and done some great interviews. So I'm thankful that you graced us to share your story here with us today as well.
I raced for Team USA for 9 years. So it's mainly a white crowd usually. And so, like, out of all the interviews I've ever done, I've probably been, including podcasts recently, I've been interviewed by maybe 5 people of color. So this is very, it's like home. Like, I always, when them opportunities come up, I do my best to break my neck for that population, just because it's just different. Like,
Yes.
even like today, I was feeling it was one of my bad days, and like, see, the one thing about the science with these things, it's not really regulated so much. And since I've done so many sessions in there, I always make sure I take a break. I take breaks, and when I take those breaks, like, some of my symptoms will start to slowly come back a little bit. And when I feel them, like, I know what it is now, because I know what the sensation is. I feel like, usually, to be very honest, like, before I never knew any of the days, I'll start asking people what's the day is. Like, is today Monday? Yeah. That's my red flag. Like, okay. And if that's not it, before I learned during COVID, like, I'll give myself I was an electrical engineering student in college. So if I'll give myself a math problem, like, math is I love for some reason, I love math growing up.
Okay.
So if I give myself a simple math problem, if I can't figure it out in my own head, that lets me know, okay, I'm compromised today. Do not sign any contracts. Don't make any big purchases. I started creating debt for myself because I was making poor decisions. And I just learned. I stepped in all the potholes. So now I teach people how not to step in the same ones I stepped in. And
Yeah. Wow. So we're gonna say to you, the loved ones that's noticing something, the symptoms that he described, when the people that, athletes, veterans, people that's been in car accidents, people that has concussions, that if you notice they're acting kind of quirky and not really being themselves. So we're not going to say to that person, because like he said, you might not recognize it in yourself. But to the loved ones, if you recognize that in your loved one, please don't dismiss it. Please don't say, well, it ain't my business. That's them.
yeah,
They'll be all right. No, don't take that chance. Be proactive for your loved one. Be their voice, because they might not have one. They might not know how to verbalize what's going on. They might not know what's going on. They
that's
just
it.
know they're not themselves.
Yeah.
And they might chalk it up to, well, it'll go away, but it might not go away. So don't take that chance with your loved one. Advocate for them, be there for them, be their voice, be their strength. And William, I just I can't say it enough. I so appreciate just your realness and just being open and willing to just get it out there and just talk about it. I pray that you're starting where you're starting, and that it takes off like wildfire, because it's needed in every state. So I
Yeah.
pray that that central location leads to other locations, and the people that need help can really get that help. So when you see his links, click on them. If you're able to invest, if you're able to contribute to that fundraiser, do that, because it's truly going to a good cause. And you don't know in your family who may be affected. You don't know who down the line is going to need this. You may need it down the line. So
Yeah,
don't just say, well, that's not anything pertaining to me. I don't need to donate to that. It's a good cause. And in good causes, when you do good, good comes back to you. So I'm saying to my audience and to pass this along, share the information, share the video, share the audio, be that person that's willing to step up and make a donation, because no, you might give a little donation, but a lot of little donations that add up to a lot. So
absolutely.
we're not putting a amount on it, but just donate. Just do a good thing. Let your heart lead you to make a donation and help see this come to pass. So William, I have truly appreciated you today and
Yeah.
everything you shared. And like I said, I will definitely keep in touch. And my
Can I say one
co-host,
last thing?
yeah, go
You
ahead.
know, guys, I know we went over a lot of different things, but I was in dementia. How many of our parents, our grandparents go through that? I came out of it. I couldn't talk. I couldn't form sentences. Here I am,
Mm,
my last 3 court hearings. I'm fighting against some of the best and most expensive lawyers in the world, and I know that because I hired them to fight for me, and they changed on us. And
mm,
I didn't tell you about the other part, but Robert Shapiro came aboard, fired my lawyers, and then quit 24 hours later. Somebody is getting to these people to keep this story out. The episode they did on us it was HBO Real Sports. They did a story on us, CTE, Winter Olympic suicide. You can go find the time slot where it was, but you'll never see it again. They rubbed it. They scrubbed it.
wow.
When I took the article about the the military pilots who were struggling with their symptoms, they're the same as ours. I took that to court to talk to the lawyers about it. The judge, they scrubbed it from the internet. I can send that to you. I have a copy from the New York Times sent me the direct link to the new copy.
Wow.
So
Yes,
they're doing a
truly.
good job of scrubbing this stuff because they want us sick. They want us on pills. That's what they want, man. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
all my pills been gone, and
yes.
like it's like yeah, this is oxygen. They cannot charge you for oxygen. I'm not going
They
to charge you
can.
for oxygen,
Yes.
and I will be open to the public, and we will be there to help you when you need us. So that's what this is all about. Yeah,
Amazing. Awesome. Just great information. Yeah, we know how things can just disappear. Information that was once there is no longer there. We understand. But we know
I keep
in
receipts. If anything you ever want to see, you let me know. I'll send it to you. I got receipts for everything I said
well,
here.
I believe you.
Yeah,
I believe you wholeheartedly. Like I said, I feel your spirit. It's a warm, gentle, and truthful, honest spirit. So, no, I don't doubt anything you're saying, because whenever somebody tells you to do your own research, you know they're telling the truth. They're not
yeah.
saying just base it off what I'm saying. I'm the expert. Just go by what I say. No, you told us from the jump to do our own research.
I wish I
So
was
in
wrong.
that, yeah,
I
yeah.
wish I
In
was
that, I
wrong.
know you're being honest and telling the truth. And just because the information is being not there anymore, that's further truth that you're telling the truth, because they don't want that out.
Yeah,
I'm not a conspiracy theorist either, but I know conspiracies happen.
yeah.
So like I said, thank you so much again. We have all your links attached to this episode when it airs. And I know you have a lot more information, so I'm going to welcome you back. Just look forward to our email. My co-host, one of them is actually, that's my biological sister, and that's her thing, mental health. She actually works at a facility, like the facility you first started in, where there's patients and a lot of
Wow.
people that's criminally waiting to go to court. They're there. So she's very familiar with that environment and that information. And I just want y'all to have a conversation so
Oh, I would
bad.
love to.
So,
Tell her I
yeah,
said 60% of the inmates have untreated head injuries. That's why most of them
yeah,
are in there.
wow,
Let's say 60%. So I'm probably thinking it's more like 75, 80. That's what my
wow,
gut would tell
wow,
me. Because they change the
wow.
numbers. They change the numbers a lot. Just like with the military, they talk about the ones who shoot themselves, but if you overdose, that don't count. Even if you leave the suicide note, it don't count. So that takes their numbers from 11,000 down to 6,400, which is still horrible.
Right.
It's just horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we could go on and on talking.
Yeah.
That's why I want you to come back.
Anytime you let me know.
Yeah, I surely will, because this has really been enlightening. And I'm a reader. I'm a studier. I study people, but I'm a bookworm. I'm a nerd in disguise.
Yeah.
But when I get a topic that I'm not familiar with, I really delve in. And this is truly unfamiliar territory to me about CTE. And like I said, the only thing I knew about the hyperbaric chamber, like everybody else, was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But it's deeper than that. It's more serious than that, and it's information that we need to know. So if you would like to send an email, send it to a womansoulrestored@gmail.com. The website is www.livelifenowlovelifenow.net. And the Facebook page is A Woman's Soul Restored. So just share this episode. Y'all get the information out. Y'all donate to the fundraiser, and let's really make this happen. Let this vision come to pass. Let it be a reality sooner than later. And we just thank you again, William, for being here today and sharing your vast information, and looking forward to you coming again.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right. So for A Woman's Soul Restored, I am Latonia Y. Hendry with William Person. For Everybody is a Person. You all be blessed and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.